Close your eyes now, my dear, and let your breath slow to a gentle rhythm. Imagine a soft, misty swamp, a place where ancient cypress trees stand tall, draped in Spanish moss, and the air always carries the faint, comforting scent of damp earth. This was the cherished home of a large, green ogre named Shrek. He was a creature who loved his quiet solitude, finding deep peace in the rustling reeds, the gentle croaking of frogs, and the comforting quiet of his own space. His days were spent in simple routines, far from the busy world, and that suited him perfectly. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a soft orange glow over the water, Shrek's tranquil world was gently stirred. A procession of peculiar new neighbors began to appear, walking slowly and rather sadly into his swamp. There were little pigs with their straw house, a charming puppet named Pinocchio, a rather delicate fairy godmother, and many, many more. They looked quite bewildered, explaining in soft, weary voices that they had been asked to leave their own homes by a very particular ruler named Lord Farquaad. He had, quite unexpectedly, directed them all to this very swamp, Shrek's peaceful domain. Shrek, who valued his quiet space above all else, understood that this unexpected turn of events simply wouldn't do. He knew, with a quiet certainty, that he had to speak with Lord Farquaad to gently resolve this situation and bring peace back to his beloved swamp. And so, with a calm resolve, he set off on a journey. As he began his walk, a friendly, rather chatty donkey with soft, intelligent eyes trotted along beside him. This delightful donkey, who simply adored conversation, gently insisted on accompanying Shrek, seeing in the large ogre a kind of quiet strength and a need for a loyal companion. Shrek, despite his initial preference for solitude, found a certain comfort in the donkey's gentle chatter, and soon their journey began. Two very different companions heading towards the grand, yet rather peculiar, kingdom of Duloc. Duloc was a place of meticulous order, with neat, identical buildings and a rather insistent tune playing softly in the air. There they met Lord Farquaad, a ruler small in stature, but grand in his own estimation, with a meticulous eye for detail. He had a great desire to become a true king, and for this he needed to find a princess to marry. Farquaad was at that very moment engaged in a special event, a kind of friendly competition, to find a champion who could undertake a very important task for him. In a flurry of gentle commotion, as Farquaad's knights attempted to capture Shrek, the ogre, quite unexpectedly, found himself to be this champion. Lord Farquaad, seeing an opportunity in Shrek's quiet strength, made him a proposal. If Shrek could kindly bring Princess Fiona from her lonely tower, Farquaad would ensure the fairy tale creatures returned to their own lands, and Shrek's swamp would be peaceful once more. It was a deal Shrek couldn't refuse, for the promise of his quiet life returning was a soothing balm to his heart. So Shrek and Donkey set off again, this time towards a tall, lonely tower, a place of ancient stone and quiet shadows, said to be guarded by a magnificent, rather warm-hearted dragon. As they approached, the air grew a little warmer, a gentle hint of the dragon's presence. With a clever plan and Donkey's gentle, soothing words, he managed to charm the great dragon, who, it turned out, quite enjoyed a good conversation. This allowed Shrek to find Princess Fiona within the highest chamber. Fiona, a spirited and rather practical princess, was perhaps a little surprised to be rescued by an ogre rather than a charming prince. But she joined them, and together they gently made their way out of the tower, past the now rather contented dragon, and into the soft daylight. As they journeyed back towards Duloc, Fiona, Shrek, and Donkey spent many hours together under the wide, open sky. At first there were gentle disagreements, as each had their own way of seeing the world. Fiona expected a romantic rescue. Shrek simply wanted to complete his task, and Donkey just wanted everyone to be happy. But slowly, as the days turned into soft evenings, they began to share quiet laughter, discovering common joys in the simple things, like making silly noises or sharing stories by the gentle glow of a campfire. Fiona, in particular, showed a spirited charm, even having a spirited but gentle encounter with a group of rather boisterous merry men, easily handling the situation with grace and strength, surprising Shrek with her capability. One evening, as the moon cast its gentle glow, painting the forest in silver and shadow, Fiona excused herself, finding a quiet, private place to rest. Unknown to Shrek and Donkey, Fiona carried a soft, secret enchantment. With the setting sun, a gentle transformation came upon her, turning her into an ogre. She had been under this quiet spell since childhood, a secret she carried with a tender heart. That same evening, Shrek and Donkey were sharing a quiet conversation about their feelings of being different, of being judged by their appearances. Shrek, speaking about his own experiences, sighed about how people often saw him as an ugly beast, never understanding the gentle soul beneath. Fiona, perhaps a little too close, overheard only those last words, and in her tender heart, she mistakenly believed he was speaking of her own transformed self. Her heart felt a little heavy, for she wished to be understood and accepted, especially by someone like Shrek, who seemed to see past appearances. Before Shrek could understand the gentle sadness in Fiona's eyes, Lord Farquaad and his entourage arrived, coming to collect his bride. Fiona, with a quiet resignation, felt she had to hide her secret and accepted Farquaad's gentle, if somewhat pompous, invitation to return to Duloc. Shrek, feeling a strange emptiness now that Fiona was gone, returned to his quiet swamp, but the peace he once cherished now felt a little lonely, a quiet ache in his heart where there had once been only contentment. Donkey, ever the loyal friend, saw the soft sorrow in Shrek's heart. He couldn't bear to see his friend so sad. With gentle persuasion, Donkey shared Fiona's tender secret, her nightly transformation. A spark of understanding lit Shrek's eyes, a warmth spread through his chest. He realized the true meaning of Fiona's sadness, and in that moment he knew he had to act, to find her, and to tell her how he truly felt. With a newfound determination, Shrek and Donkey hurried back towards Duloc, arriving just as the gentle wedding ceremony was about to conclude. Shrek, with a heartfelt plea, interrupted the proceedings, wishing to speak his truth, to reveal the true meaning of love and acceptance. In that tender moment, as the last rays of the setting sun softly touched the chapel, Fiona's gentle transformation occurred for all to see, revealing her ogre form to the assembled guests. Lord Farquaad, rather unkindly, was displeased, loudly calling for guards to take Fiona away. But just then, the magnificent dragon, who had quite a soft spot for Donkey, made a grand yet gentle entrance through the chapel window. In a single swift motion, the dragon, quite surprisingly, made Lord Farquaad vanish, ensuring he would cause no more gentle disruptions to true love. Shrek and Fiona, now standing together, shared their true feelings, their hearts speaking volumes in the quiet chapel. And with a soft kiss, a kiss born of genuine affection and acceptance, Fiona's enchantment was gently broken, allowing her to remain in her ogre form, her truest self, forever. It was not the form of a delicate princess, but the strong, beautiful form of an ogre, perfectly matched to Shrek. And so, in the quiet beauty of Shrek's swamp, under the gentle gaze of all their fairy tale friends who had now returned home, Shrek and Fiona celebrated their own special wedding. They found their happiness together, two ogres, content and deeply loved, proving that true beauty and true love reside deep within the heart, no matter what shape one takes. Their home was now filled with soft laughter and gentle warmth, a haven of peace and belonging, no longer lonely, but wonderfully complete. Now, as the story ends, let your own mind drift into soft dreams. All the adventures have ended, all the journeys are complete, and all is wonderfully well. Feel the peace settling over you, a gentle quiet, just like the mist over Shrek's swamp. Rest now, my dear.